it is a completely and totally amazing thing that we're watching, an America that always stood for, the shining city on the hill, that stood for the middle class, that stood for people who, were yearning to breathe free, that were looking for better lives, that were trying to join the middle class if they hadn't been there, and that, leave a better world to their kids. And it was all about making things and building things and being civic minded and we're turning into an oligarchy backed by military power? Really? This is the direction that we want to watch ourselves go in? Listen, this is the crazy thing about Tillerson. He said he favors doing business in countries that offer political stability, even if this stability is achieved through authoritarianism. He says, we're really thinking about, well, what is it going to be in 15, 20 years from now? And so what are the conditions in some of these countries likely to be? So his corporation maintains a political intelligence and analysis department at its headquarters in Irving, Texas, staffed by former government officials that tries to predict the stability of countries. It says, we don't interfere in the politics of host countries, but the right kinds of dictators can be more predictable and profitable than democracies. They said they've had more luck making money in Equatorial Guinea, a small oil-rich West African dictatorship that's been ruled for decades by a single family, than they have in Alaska, because they say raucous electoral politics has made it hard for Exxon to nail down stable deal terms. And so they're going to have an authoritarian here if they're going to nail down stable deal terms. And they hate the State Department. He despises it, and so of course they put him in charge of it. Does anybody remember who his predecessor was? Remember that guy Lee Raymond? He had that big neck beard and really foul teeth that made Rudy Giuliani look like he just stepped out of a Colgate ad. Oh God, that was the guy who, during the Exxon Valdez, where we were, where Dawn first became the dishwashing liquid that cleaned off oily birds, and we found that useful in the Deepwater Horizon disaster too. I mean, really? Garrett in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hey, Randy.
Hey.
So, I'm just pretty heartbroken. A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about, when this disaster happened, how we may be a great country, but we're not a good country anymore.
Well, yeah.
I always try to debate these people and, sometimes argue with them. And somebody I grew up with, known for years, I just asked him, I said, do you see what is going on? Are you paying attention? And to my face, he told me that he was glad that Russia got involved. I had to walk away.
Okay, so how can that person even believe or say out loud that they love this country, or that they care about American values, or that they believe we're a sovereign nation, and that how could they possibly call themselves a patriot? We've been
I don't think they can.
This is an attack, okay? And it was an attack on our government, and the idea that they don't care that we were attacked and don't want to retaliate. Listen, here's the thing. When this guy gets sworn in and Rex Tillerson becomes Secretary of State and all this, what's going to happen is they're going to immediately move to take the sanctions off Russia, which is going to make Vlad feel like he won the presidency, number one. And number two, the talk about getting rid of NATO, that was a signal to Vlad also from Trump, that he can invade all the neighbors he wants. We just don't care. In fact, it might be better for ExxonMobil. It might be better for, some oil and gas producers. It might be better for other businesses to have an authoritarian government in some of these democratic countries in the Baltics.
Yes, we're just in deep trouble. I don't even know where to start other than just communicating. I mean, we have to break the
here's how you start. Here is how you start. Okay, if somebody goes down that road, I don't care about Russia, or I'm glad Russia hacked. Then ask them, how can you say you're a patriot? How can you say you care about American sovereignty when a thug, a freaking murderer, guy that murders people, a guy that invades his neighbors, hacked us, and you don't care? How could you say that you're a patriot? How could you say you care about this country?
Yeah, they just can't. They just can't.
Well, you just tell them. You tell them. This has nothing to do with the election. We were attacked. This is cyber war. This is a crime. And then you can, if they're at least somewhat lucid, ask them, how are you sure? How can you be clear that the Russians won't blackmail any of the Republicans because they hacked the RNC too? They didn't release anything, but they have it. How could you be sure that your president and the legislature and the House members and all these people, how could you be sure that they're not blackmailable? How can you?